to me, now is the time to double down. There will be some people that, the ratio of agents to deals, will continue to move like it always does. There will be some agents that probably don't get through this for sure. But the ones that double down, the ones that work hard, the ones that, are able to understand, like I said, the data is out there. Everybody's mind goes back to 2008 because that was the most current event. But the data is out there to show dire differences between where we are today and 2008.
Welcome to the BiggerPockets Best Deal Ever show. I'm your lovable host, Ken Corsini, who with my wife, Anita, have flipped over 800 houses in Atlanta since 2005 and even have a show on HGTV. But this show isn't about us. It's about all the amazing real estate investors out there that are crushing it. It's about their stories, their best deals, how they sourced them, how they funded them, and what we can learn from their experiences. This is the Best Deal Ever show. Hey, this is Ken Corsini from the Best Deal Ever show, here with Scott Martineau to talk about a very important topic right now, which is how the COVID-19 outbreak is affecting real estate agents, something that's super pertinent right now. So Scott, how you doing, man?
Man, I am good.
Yeah.
Trying to survive and work through all this for sure.
I was going to say, working out of an apartment, man, by his lonesome, getting a lot of work done, just grinding it out, right?
I was going to say, absolutely. Tons of projects getting done for sure. So
just so you guys know, Scott is actually the president of Red Barn Real Estate. Him and I own a brokerage together here in Woodstock, Georgia. We actually have a couple franchisees as well around Atlanta. And how many agents are we up to now, Scott?
We're up to about 200 agents across all the different offices. So
about 200 agents around Metro Atlanta. And Scott is sort of at the helm over there and does a phenomenal job sort of directing our agents. And he's actually every day been putting out an email to all of our agents, just kind of keeping them abreast of what's going on right now in the market, what we need to know from a real estate perspective. And I thought it would be perfect to bring you on here to the BiggerPockets community. And let's just talk about maybe the 5 things that real estate agents need to be thinking about, need to consider, as we sort of enter this pandemic and what it's going to look like for them.
No, absolutely. I mean, I love talking on this, and definitely so much information out there that, we're really trying to narrow down on kind of the best things. So, I'll kind of jump into the 5 things that we talk about on a daily basis, with our agents. And the first one being is, contact your sphere.
Yeah.
And, the whole goal behind that is that agents know people, right? And agents have past clients. I always say past clients the most valuable thing that a real estate agent can have. And now is the time for these agents to really be contacting their sphere for a couple of reasons. Number one is a lot of them are home by themselves or with their family or their kids. They're kind of stuck. They're not getting to talk and engage with as many people. And most real estate agents, they're not all are extroverts, but a lot of them are. So they're probably going crazy right now. And so the biggest thing that, I think they could really be doing is talking to these past clients, talking to these friends, because everybody wants to know what's going on in the real estate world.
Right.
And we've got great data. We can't predict the future, but real estate agents always take past data to make future predictions. And so they can really be a resource to these people.
I think being just a good source of information is a great reason to call somebody. Just, hey, just want to check in on you. I know you're probably wondering what's going on with the house that you just bought last year. Here's kind of what I'm seeing in the market. Here's what the statistics are saying. And here's the other thing is there's going to be a handful of people that want to get their house on the market, probably just assuming there's an impending downturn.
Right.
And you might be the person there to get that listed.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're still in a low inventory market. And so if that's what somebody wants, agents are able here in Georgia for sure to put a home on the market. And there are buyers out there still doing stuff, in Georgia for sure. So we want to make sure. And one of the things it's also teaching our agents to do is so many times agents hate the word prospecting because they always feel like they want something from somebody. This is a chance to call somebody and you're not wanting anything from that person. You just,
Right.
You're helping them. Like there is no excuse to just not pick up the phone and just call those people. Check in on them. How are you doing? How's your grocery supply? Can I drop something off for you if they're elderly? It's a great chance to be able to do that with your past clients, with your sphere and all that stuff.
I love it. All right, let's move on to number 2. What's the number 2 thing an agent can do right now?
Yeah. It's, most salespeople hate this, but it's really, assess your expenses. Like,
Yeah.
where are you spending your money right now? And it's kind of taking your expenses and saying, what do I have to have, right? What have I committed to already having, right? So I can't get out of this. But what can I cut? Now is the time to be looking at, for every dollar you're spending, what is your return on that dollar? And each agent needs to have their own metric on that, but they better have a good idea. If they're spending a dollar to make 50 cents right now for some long-term play, it's probably an expense that needs to be cut without a doubt, in my opinion. So,
Yep.
I mean, each one owns their own business for sure, and they really need to look at expenses and cut anything that is not necessary right now.
In a way, you're sort of protecting your own income. I mean, if you're maybe outsourcing something that you should potentially be doing yourself right now just to protect income because you don't know what the rest of the year is going to look like, or look at that credit card statement and you've got some subscriptions to things you're not even using anymore. I mean, there's probably a lot of different places, again, as a small business owner, that you can cut to just protect your future income.
Oh, absolutely. And there's companies, I've seen numerous, subscription companies send messages about cutting expenses and them cutting their fees during this time to help out. So there's companies that are willing to work along and help. And I mean, as agents, if you've got a subscription to something, they don't want to lose that income. So you can pick up the phone, you could call them, and they'd probably be willing to negotiate a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month thing to kind of keep you engaged in what you're using. So I think it's really important to really look at those expenses and just get them down to as bare minimum as you can. And you talked about something great. I mean, if you're outsourcing leverage right now, I think it's time to take that in-house. I mean, you can do your contracts, you can do a couple of those things right now just to save on that money for sure.
That's right. Yeah, because you don't know what the next 6 months is necessarily going to look like, in terms of your specific business. So if you can protect that income right now, I say do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, number 3.
So 3 is a big one, as well for real estate agents, because we talk about this a lot, and it is, man, get hyper local, right? Our advantage as real estate agents has always been hyper local. It's been that one-on-one relationship with an agent. It's been that relationship we have in our community, right? We're supposed to be community experts, and
Right.
we're all small business owners who in our local communities know other small business owners as well too, right? I mean,
Right.
in Georgia, restaurants, they're not allowed to have people inside the restaurants right now, but they are doing takeout, even letting them do takeout beer, wine, and all that stuff. So what we're telling our agents is go partner with these other small business owners and show them support, right? If you're going to go pick up a 6-pack of beer, to get through the evening with all this stress right here, you can go do it at a local brewery where you can support that local brewery and support the local economy. So, for us, we're just really talking get hyperlocal, and our agents are doing an amazing job at it. I mean, we've got agents that are ordering stuff online from small businesses just to help support them during this time.
Yep.
And it's really, in our local community, we're just seeing so many people work together. My hope is when we come out of this, that we remember this feeling and remember the way we all work together as small business owners and continue that for sure.
For sure. Well, the other thing I'm noticing right now is everybody's on social media, right? And so, a lot of our agents, we had an opportunity to get some of the N95 masks in our office and basically said, agents, go distribute these to the community. And it's been all over social media. Our agents have done a phenomenal job getting them to the police, the fire department, to some of the old folks' homes. I mean, they've done in a lot of hospitals, actually, amazingly need them. But a lot of that stuff goes viral. A lot of it goes, into social media. And you're not necessarily doing it for that reason. You obviously want to support your community, but I'd say put your best foot forward right now. This is a time to really be involved in your community and help out as much as you can.
Oh yeah. Well, and when you got those, for our office and for our agents and we're able to get that to our agent, I mean, they were gone in a day.
Yep.
Our agents were so eager to get those things and hand them out to the community. And it was amazing. I mean, it was just a huge blessing.
Very cool. This is the time, to step up. And like you said, support your community. It doesn't necessarily pay off in tangible benefits immediately, but the long-term effects of just doing good, it's hard to calculate.
And also too, when we're in times like this and all we're hearing is bad news and things not going well, we all know this is true. And sometimes we get so busy, we forget it. But when you go help somebody else, you leave feeling better about yourself.
So true.
Absolutely happens. And so for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, agents can kind of forget about their own problems for a second. whether helping people with bigger problems or different problems, for
Totally.
sure.
Love it. All right. Number 4.
Number 4, handwriting.
Drum roll, please.
Yeah,
The
drum roll,
suspense is
please.
killing me. Work on the
Oh,
important.
important but not urgent tasks. Wow, I need to go back to handwriting school with that. So,
Apparently, number 4 was not urgent enough, I guess.
yeah, exactly. But when we come out of this, and we will come out of this, this moment will become the past, and we're going to look back and say, what did we do during that time, right? Like, were there goals that I could have, or I wish I had accomplished? And I think knowing that going in right now and really getting to work on the things, we all know that important but not urgent things are things that we just don't do typically, right? We're always doing important and urgent, or important and not urgent. I mean, in all honesty, but this right here gives us a chance to actually work on, every big project we've ever wanted to do, whether it's, hey, I want to read a book a week. And so I'm going to start reading that book and changing my morning habit, or I want to get out and I want to walk a mile a day, or I want to jog 3 miles a day. I mean, it's given us a chance to, kind of work on those projects personally. But then also on a business side of things, we're able to do, work on our CRM. Right?
Right.
I have CRMs to my agents all the time, and they always say, oh my gosh, I wish I had more time to work on that. Well, guess what? Now is the time to get to work on that CRM. So if they don't have one, they should build one, right? Yep. And if they've got one, they should clean it up. And once they've cleaned it up, they should build a touch marketing. I'm not talking about a spin marketing. I'm talking about a touch marketing system that they can utilize for the rest of this year and moving forward. I mean, Now is the time to not come out of this with regrets of projects you wish you had done, for sure.
I know internally for us, my whole team's, they're working out of the house, but we were about to start a big initiative just to reconfigure the way we're doing QuickBooks for a number of different businesses. And it's honestly been great because everybody's just kind of grounding and pounding at home. And it's a lot of sort of manual, just sludging through data entry type stuff to get it even better than it was. And the timing's perfect. So I know there's a lot of agents out there. We know we got a lot of agents whose books are a mess. It's a great time to go in there and clean it up.
Yeah, it's an absolute great time. And we also know, like, when in life, and it goes back to time blocking, right? I mean, we talk time blocking to agents all the time. Nobody ever wants to do it. Nobody likes to do it. But we go to tackle these bigger tasks and we just say, I don't have enough time to do it. Or maybe we work for 30 minutes in a big task on Monday, but then on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're slammed and we just don't pick that task back up.
Yep.
Now is the time for people to be putting 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half into just those and you're not going to get it done in one day, and that's okay. Right. You're just starting to create a system. It could be taking an online course, right? I mean, maybe we wanted to educate ourselves. Maybe there's a certification that an agent wanted to get, right? Now's the time to do that. And once you're done with that, protect that time for the rest of your business, and you will thrive in good times and bad.
That's true. Start the habit now of time blocking. Absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. All right. Number 5, what's the last thing agents should be focusing on?
Long-term funnels. And what I mean by that is we are salespeople, man. We have to have some victories in our day, right? And I always joke, I say real estate agents, man, I mean, we go from being on fire at 10 a.m. to being in the dumps by 12 p.m., back on fire at 2. I mean, we're all over the place all the time. And what happens in something like this, right? I mean, some of the states right now, they've totally banned real estate. I mean, nobody can leave the house. So the real estate market has just come to a halt, right? For safety reasons. In Georgia, the people that are out there looking, I saw a report the other day, showings are down about 30% on homes. In the last week or so, but there are still some serious buyers out there that are needing to do some stuff. Yep. But for the most part, agents are not going to have that satisfaction of a phone call coming in saying, hey, Scott, I'm ready for you to list my house. Or, hey, Scott, let's go buy a house together, right? So we still need those victories. And the way those look to me is, when we come out of this, which we are all very confident we will come out of this, right? We've come out of everything. We want to have those people lined up and ready to go. And so the victory, what I'm telling my agents right now, the victory for us right now is putting people in those longer funnels, like, talking to people, having conversations, starting to implement your marketing plan, and just keeping those people in close contact who are like, hey, look, I don't know what's going on with the market. and I'm just nervous to do anything, we are going to do something soon. Make sure that you're putting those people, in your CRM so you can stay in touch with them. And when we start moving out of this, or there's information they need to know, you're the one providing them that information. And as you're putting those people in a bucket, what I kind of say is just put them into more of a nurture bucket and consider that a victory, right? Consider that a win for the day. And so prospecting, when sales are down, I had an old sales manager tell me this: look, if the market's down 50%, you got to double what you're doing for meeting people, right? And prospecting. And it's kind of the same way here. And I think agents who work on their long-term funnel will be very pleasantly surprised as the market does start to come back.
Well, and even thinking ahead of what could it potentially look like for you in the future as an agent? I mean, if there is a downturn and prices, recessed somewhat, who's your client? Who becomes, the best person to prospect? And it may be investors. Maybe one of those things. If you've worked with investors in the past, maybe you need to consider doubling down on working with investors, right? Because what are the iBuyers doing right now?
Well, I was going to say, so the iBuyers have hit the pause button, and they've created an appetite, right? I mean, they're a small piece of the market, but that whole simple, quick sale, has put an appetite out there to the consumers. And I mean, they've hit the pause button right now, every single one of them. And so if you are working with investors, I mean, I've told my agents last week, you should be in touch with your investors immediately and just find out what their plan is. Yep. How can you help them in this plan and be ready to go? Because like I said, the appetite is out there for people to sell their house quickly without necessarily going on the market. That was already created prior to this.
Yeah.
So I think there's some huge opportunities there for agents to help investors in that area.
Love it. The big takeaway, Scott, I think, is that yes, there's a downturn. Yes, the news is a little bit scary, but it's no reason to bury your head in the sand as a real estate agent. If anything, take advantage of this opportunity to build your business, to actually grow your business rather than shrink back.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, to me, now is the time to double down. There will be some people that, the ratio of agents to deals, will continue to move like it always does. There will be some agents that probably don't get through this for sure. But the ones that double down, the ones that work hard, the ones that, are able to understand, like I said, the data is out there. Everybody's mind goes back to 2008 because that was the most current event. But the data is out there to show dire differences between where we are today and 2008. Totally
Very true. Yeah.
And we don't have a playbook for this. We've never seen this whatsoever. So we just have to roll with it. What I tell our agents is you have to control the controllables. That's all you can really do.
Absolutely. Control your time. You've got the time now. Make sure you're using the most of it. Scott, thanks so much for coming on. Hopefully this was super beneficial to the real estate agents out there.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for listening to the Best Deal Ever show, brought to you by BiggerPockets. If you've been energized, entertained, or enlightened by today's show, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ken Corsini, or check us out online at redbarnhomes.com. And don't forget, one man's best deal ever may be the inspiration you need to create your next best deal. So hope to see you on the next episode.